I'm here at the National Assembly, our Parliament here in Wales, to really set out why I won't be here tomorrow during the time when we're supposed to pay tribute to Baroness Thatcher. And I think it's something that's a matter for the Assembly itself. Obviously, a majority of members want to have the opportunity to have that session, but I think I'd be pretty hypocritical if I sat in with it, as I wouldn't be able to say my views. I wouldn't be able to explain what I thought about the very complex and divisive nature of Thatcherism in Wales, the way it's affected our society and the way it continues to affect our society. One thing is for certain: we wouldn't be here and wouldn't have a National Assembly without the effect of Thatcherism on the Labour Party in particular, and the need of Welsh politics to come together to build a civic nationalism and a civic structure that represented the politics of Wales as being a very different sort of politics than that practised by Margaret Thatcher and the Conservative Party at that time. But I'm also particularly concerned that we've seen over the last few days an attempt to use the institutions of the UK state to, in some ways, sanitise the reputation of Margaret Thatcher and make her out to be some kind of unifying force in politics, which she wasn't. She was extremely successful Conservative Prime Minister, democratically elected, and of course the first female Prime Minister, and very important figure in UK politics because of that. But she was not Clement Attlee or Winston Churchill or even a Lloyd George. She was a divisive figure, and I think some people are taking the opportunity to somehow make her to be something of great importance to the issues that we have here today in the Conservative Party. As you would expect, want to celebrate her achievements, but I think it's important that those of us who opposed Margaret Thatcher throughout the 1980s and indeed chanted Maggie, 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 out, 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 are not seen now to be somehow complicit in the way that institutions are somehow supporting that reputation. So I think it's unfortunate that our Assembly has become a mini-me sort of Parliament compared to Westminster. I think it's unfortunate that we are still hidebound by Westminster traditions and paying tribute in this way, rather than thinking of a rather more refreshing and alternative way of acknowledging what Margaret Thatcher did achieve, but also acknowledging the huge effect she had on our communities. So I don't want to be part of the, as it were, the normalisation of Thatcherism in UK politics. So I won't take part in the tributes, but I will use that time to think of how we best unpick the threads of Thatcherism from Welsh political life and think afresh and anew about how we build a more realistic and socially inclusive and socially coherent set of politics for Wales.